Glad you guys were able to join us today. Today, we're going to share some oily stories today about some of the oils that are in the starter kit. And so we're also going to share with you about our classes coming up and our challenges. And so first and foremost, I am Mollie Moses, and I've got some friends with me here, Amanda and Melinda, and we're going to share. But how do oils work and how do you use them? And so these two oils I'm going to share about in a moment, Raven and PanAway, are both in the starter kit. And the way that oils work is you can, Young Living oils, you can use them three ways. You can use them aromatically, topically, or you can ingest them. And so those are the three ways that we will talk about and we will share about how we are going to use them. Today, I'll share with you about how I'm going to use Raven aromatically and how I'm going to use PanAway topically. But the great thing about Young Living is we have vitality oils, and the vitality oils are in the white labels, and those are ones that you can actually take orally to help your body. So different ways that a lot of times we use them topically. Whenever you're putting oils on topically, you may want to use a carrier oil because that is always helpful whenever you are putting on something and it can further it, and you can use extra carrier oil and spread it to a larger part of your body. And so that's just a little bit about how our oils work. And Amanda's going to tell you all about the quality of our oils and why we choose to use Young Living.
All right, so my name's Amanda. So when we first heard that oils can help you with stuff, it was specifically about my kids' allergies. They were all on allergy medicine, and a friend mentioned that essential oils could help with that. So I got online and found the cheapest brand I could find of essential oils, and I looked up the oils that are supposed to help with allergies, and I ordered them from this cheap company, and they smelled really good, and they did very little of anything else other than smelling really good. But, I could still notice a tiny difference in their allergies. If I took them off their medicine, they seemed to have a little bit less runny nose. So, I gave Young Living a try after hearing from all my friends, they were the best and supposedly quality mattered, and the difference we experienced in their allergies and in other little ways we had used the oils from the cheaper brand is what made me a believer that quality matters, absolutely matters for if oils actually work. And then as I learned more, I realized quality also matters for making sure you're not getting things in your oils that you're probably trying to avoid in general. So in the United States, there are regulations on essential oils are extremely laxed. You only have to have 5% essential oil in a bottle to legally be able to label it as pure essential oil. So with those kind of relaxed boundaries and rules on essential oils, you have to know the company and trust the company that they're giving you the best quality product they can simply because they want to, not because the government's making them. So everything that happens to the soil, to the seed, to the plant as it's growing, the time it's harvested, how it's distilled, the temperature it's distilled at, how long it's distilled, all of that affects how much healing quality is coming in your oil. So those oils we got at the beginning that were really, really cheap, they had basically nothing left in them or in them that was going to actually be doing good stuff for us. And then the difference is the Young Living, it was full of those tiny constituents that God put in those plants to benefit our bodies because Young Living goes into the chemistry of every single step of what's needed for their finished product to be something that's going to help our bodies function the way God intended them to function. So then when you add in the knowledge of the fact that companies can add in all sorts of man-made chemicals and artificial scents and things like that to their bottles of essential oil that are labeled as pure to make them smell stronger, to make the buyer think that they're getting something stronger, then you start thinking about, okay, well, if artificial scents are bad for us and they actually mess up our endocrine system, that means that buying cheap oil may just not work. It could also be doing damage and keeping your body from functioning the way it's functioning. So once I learned all that, I was like, I can't believe I ever bought that stuff. We only use Young Living now. And I love getting to share this subject because friends like Jeannie, she shared with me earlier that she's learned so much from these Zooms and our team talking about quality and stuff. She's been able to share with friends about the difference in essential oils. And so I think that's important because if we want our friends to actually experience these benefits, they need to know that they can't get these benefits from oils off the store shelves. That has to be done the right way to get the benefits we're going to talk about here today. So that's why my family only uses Young Living, is because of all that stuff we've learned. So now Mollie is going to share with us a few of their experiences with some oils.
Yes, and that is a great explanation. I love that explanation of sharing the quality, because that is what is so important with using these oils. Whenever you're using the oils, I like to especially look at the severity of it. So, for instance, PanAway. So, there have been times in our household, I have 3 boys, that we have had to use PanAway in an emergency situation. And so I have literally had to use it every 10 minutes. And so there's many different occasions that we've used it in that way. And that's where I like to treat them like it's my first aid kit. So this is my first aid for any accidents, anything that happens. So they fall down, they scrape their knee, things like that. I'm usually pouring PanAway on. And if it's a wound, that's when I will add the V6. The reason is a lot of times some of the oils may contain hotter oils. PanAway actually contains clove and wintergreen. Both of those are considered hot oils. And whenever it's a hot oil, it's actually not the temperature as much as the molecules. So when I put this on my skin, and the molecules are really small and they're going to start moving on the skin. And so whenever I put it on my skin, a lot of times it can feel hot or it can feel itchy. So whenever that happens, that's when I get my carrier oil, my fatty oil, olive oil, coconut oil, things like that with larger molecules. I apply that over the top. Then that is when I start seeing the reduced redness, the itching goes away, it's not near as hot, things like that. So whenever I see that, then I notice, okay, this is definitely worked its way into my skin, and I have enough carrier oil on. And so this PanAway, when have we used this? For just minor aches and pains, but also headaches. Whenever we get a headache, we take PanAway and we put it around our head and we rub it up into our temples and up into our hair. I've used this on sprains. We've sprained ankles. We've sprained wrists. I've used this on head injuries. My son had a skull fracture, and it helped with that. PanAway contains wintergreen, clove, like I mentioned, also heliochrysum and peppermint. So what is heliochrysum? Heliochrysum actually can go in and help to repair ligaments and tendons. And so that's why I chose to use this on our sprained ankles, our sprained wrists. Peppermint is actually the driver. When you're putting this on and you're applying it, that peppermint is driving it in to make it a little bit more stronger to where the effect is a little bit better. I will tell you a secret, and this is recorded, so it's for all the world to know, but it's my secret, okay? So years ago, my 13-year-old was 1, and when I first got my starter kit, I didn't know a lot about safety and the use of oils, and he was teething. Now I would use Copaiba. It's a little bit more mild flavor and taste, but at the time, all I had was PanAway. So I took PanAway and I put a drop on my finger and I rubbed it all inside his mouth. It's not a vitality oil, but I knew that that would numb his mouth. He was not sleeping because he broke 4 teeth through at the same time. And do you know what? I rubbed it on, and then he took a drink. He got his bottle, drank, and it helped to it didn't sting him or anything. And then he slept all night. And so that is one thing that was my saving grace for when I had a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, how I could get him to sleep, was I would actually put that on him. Now you may say, oh, it says for topical use only. I chose to use it orally. And that's my secret. Okay. Just because it says it on the label, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't, because the way that Amanda explained our oils are made, that's why I felt like it was safe. So the next oil we're going to talk about is Raven. Raven is a blend. Both of these are blends, actually. And like I mentioned, they both have bigger caps, which are child-proof caps, because they both contain wintergreen. And wintergreen is, like I said, it's a little bit spicier. It's a little bit hotter. But this has Raven Sarah, lemon, wintergreen, peppermint, and eucalyptus radiata in it. So what do we use Raven for? We use Raven for all things breathing. It's also great as well for your muscles and aches and pains as well. So I've paired the two together many times, and that's been a saving grace. But for the Raven, a few ways that I like to use it. I can just take the lid off and I just kept my hand around and I deeply just breathe it from the bottle. That's one way. That's my most common way. For years, I was diagnosed with asthma. And in 2012 was the last time that I ever used an inhaler. And I have literally used Raven and RC as my inhalers since 2012, just by cupping that open. I found that the difference was using that as an inhaler compared to my inhaler. The steroid inhaler would make me jittery feeling, and this literally opens my airways. I can literally get my breath without doing a few pumps. And so that's why I choose to use that. With the Raven also, my children have had coughs that I cannot get rid of them. And once one of my boys had a cough for like 10 days, and I was like, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know where it's coming from. It seemed like it was getting worse than it was getting better. And so I took Raven and I looked up on my VitaFlex chart in my essential oils book. And on your VitaFlex chart, it will show you just exactly where to apply those oils. So you can see the lungs are right in here. And so I applied it to the lungs and I could see a little bit of a difference, but I made sure to rub it in real good right in there in a VitaFlex technique on the lungs. However, when I applied it to the tops of their feet, and you know where your bone, your foot bone is, I went across that when I VitaFlexed, and that's your bronchial passages for your VitaFlex. So when I applied it to the tops of his foot, his cough went away within a day. And so that is where I was like, okay, putting it on the tops of your feet. You know, grandma always used to use Vicks vapor rubs on the bottoms of our feet. Well, it had eucalyptus and things like that. But it's because when you put things on the bottoms of your feet, like I showed you, it was because maybe grandma didn't know about the VitaFlex chart, but that's how God created our body, for things to be put on there, and it brought all the way through your body. So that is very helpful. However, when you're dealing with a chronic cough that you cannot get rid of, putting it on the tops of your feet is going to be much more beneficial. So that's how we use Raven and PanAway. And yes, the question in the chat is, I've used it to help bone spurs in your shoulder. Yes, that's the PanAway. Yes. It is amazing for your bones, your ligaments, your muscles. It will make your body feel so much better whenever you're using this. It's tremendous. Another little, an oil that doesn't come in the starter kit, but one that I like to pair with PanAway a lot of times for cuts and scrapes is Myrrh, because this is what we call our liquid bandage in our house. When you have boys and Band-Aids just don't, it's hard to find them, first of all, when you have kids in general, because they use them all up because they don't have any, you know, boo-boos, but they have to put them on. And when you need one, they're all gone, right? And so, but when you need something a little stronger, like stitches possibly, We have been able to use Myrrh by applying the PanAway on top, putting the Myrrh over the top of it, and it actually like acts as a liquid bandage and it holds it in. So that's just my little first aid tip for you today. And so Melinda is going to share with us all about how you can order your starter kit, or you can enroll in Essential Rewards, and our upcoming challenges and our other meetings we're going to have.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Molly, for sharing. That was awesome. I also love both of those oils very much and use them very similarly. So if you are on this call and you are not a member and you're wondering how you can get your hands on the amazing oils that we have talked about, then feel free to contact the person that invited you to this meeting, and they can get you all set up. We have different starter kits you can start out with. You can start out with oils. You can start out with another one of our supplement starter kits called Nixia Red. There's a Thieves starter kit where you can just replace so many things in your home. So there's lots of ways that you can start. So the best way to do that is to connect with the person that invited you here, and they can help talk you through and figure out which one's best for you. I think most of us here started with the oils kit just because you get so much for your money. And it comes with a diffuser. Look, I have my little diffuser going over here. It comes with a beautiful diffuser and a whole bunch of oils and other little goodies in the kit. So you definitely want to do that. Once you get your starter kit also, there will be an option to sign up for what they call Essential Rewards. And I highly suggest that everyone do that. If you are on this call and you have your kit, but you're not on Essential Rewards, you may also want to look into that and talk to the person who invited you to this meeting. Most of us are on Essential Rewards because it is a monthly program where you get percentages back. Okay. The cool thing about it, the thing that I like, because I'm always like, ew, a monthly program. I'm going to have to order every month and I'm going to get the same thing every month. I'm never going to use it all. Okay. So that was my biggest holdback, was like, I don't know if I can come up with something to order every month. But the cool thing about Young Living is you can change that order every month. You don't have to get the same thing. It's not like you get the same thing all the time. You can order supplements, you can order makeup, you can order soap, shampoos, laundry soap. Young Living is not just oils, and it's just not this cutesy thing. It truly is a lifestyle that can change your life and change your health. And the Essential Rewards is the best way to do that, because not only are you going to get the products you need, you can do it a little bit at a time. There's not very many of us that can go out there and just replace everything at one time. Even though once you start attending these classes and learn more, you might want to, because there's some really bad things in your house. I can almost guarantee you there's still some bad things in my house we're slowly getting rid of. But the great way to do this is through the Essential Rewards, or you will hear us call it ER, because you will get to replace a little bit at a time every month, and you're going to get a percentage back in points, which is free money to buy more stuff. I personally use my free points for my skincare and my makeup, because I'm a mom and all the things, and I feel guilty for spending money on myself sometimes, even though I shouldn't. So I get all the free stuff. It's for me. It's all for me. I get all the free stuff. I buy the stuff for the house and I use all the free points for myself. So that's just one of the many reasons. You get gifts once a year. You get, in your increase on how much you get back. There's lots of information, but just know you need to do it. Once you get your kit also, you want to be sure that you plugged into our group. One thing I love about our particular group is that we have lots of educations and lots of opportunities for you to learn more. The more you learn, the better you can use the products you already have and figure out what your next step might be that you need to help in your health journey, is what I like to call it. It's always a journey, right? So you can plug in. We have a Facebook page called 7 Oily Days Essentials if you're a member already. However, Jeannie, I don't know if you know this too, but if you have friends that want to know more that are not a member yet, you can send them to the Facebook page that's just 7 Oily Days. That's for anybody, and they can get on there and look up information, and they don't have to be a part of the group. Once you become a part of our group, then you get added to the Essentials page, where you get to have more personal, deeper, in-depth education. We also have an Instagram page called 7 Oily Days. So in case you didn't know it, our big group's called 7 Oily Days. That's the key. Go look for it anywhere. But we also have meetings every Monday night at 8 o'clock. It's about other products, different products, not just the starter kit, but the next step. And then we have our particular group here underneath Mollie. We meet twice a month, the first and the third Sunday of every month at 2 o'clock, same time, right here, same bat channel, everything. The first Sunday of the month we call it Mindset Mingle. It's really about getting your mind in the right place. And it's not just about oils and young living. It's about being the best person that you can be. Whether that you're a volunteer at church, or you're a mother or a grandmother, or you have a job somewhere. It's just going to help you be the best person you can be. This upcoming one we're super excited about is called, we're going to go over what's called the Enneagram. And if you haven't heard of that, it's a personality survey that's really, really cool. And it's really helping me learn how to get along with my family a little better and how we interact. And because my daughter and I kind of butt heads, and, you know, it's a thing. But that is the first Sunday. So I highly encourage you to come back and listen to that. And then the third Sunday of March, we will come back and do this oily chat again. This is a great place to invite your friends that may or may not know anything about oils, but you're like, oh my word, this would help you so much. I can't tell you all the things, but there's this meeting on the third Sunday of every month. Let's, I'll be there. Come join me, and invite them to do that. The last thing I'm going to talk about real quick is our challenge for this month and next month. This month was EndoFlex, which means for the remainder of February, you should be having some EndoFlex and trying to put it on every day. I will say the snowstorm kind of made me break my habits a little bit, and I didn't put it on. And you guys, there's a difference. Okay. I feel the difference of 4 or 5 days without it. Took me a minute to figure out what I had not done, but that would be it. So put your EndoFlex on every day. And then going into next month, if you want to prepare to be a part of our challenge there, we kind of gave you a choice. So we're going to look at some supplements. You can choose Super Bee, and Super Bee is going to give you tons of energy. It has most bee supplements that you buy at the store are going to have one, at the most 2 different kinds of bee in their supplements. And you don't know what else, and you don't know really how much bee is actually in there, right? Our Super Bee has 7 different types of vitamin B in it, and it is as pure as it gets. And I am telling you, this is the supplement that I love to take, because I take it around, personally, I take it around noon, 11, 1, something like that, and I can make it through the rest of the day without that dip in the afternoon. Another option is multigreens, because our foods don't really give us what we're supposed to have vitamin-wise and mineral-wise. Multigreens is just a really good thing to take on a daily basis to replace those things that we're not getting. Or if you know somebody who's not good at eating their vegetables and stuff, multigreens is a good way to go. And the last option for you is Life 9. That is a probiotic. Everybody needs a probiotic. It makes your gut function better. Your gut has what they call a flora, and it's supposed to have all these things in it. And again, our food doesn't give us what we're supposed to have. So Life 9 is going to be your other option. So next month, you can put on for your order Super Bee, multigreens, or Life 9. If you want to go crazy, get all 3 of them. But we're really glad that you joined us. I'm going to throw it back to Mollie for any closing statements, and then we will see you the first Sunday in March at 2 o'clock. We're glad you came.
Sounds good. Well, great. We're glad that you joined us for this oily chat. And we want to make sure and invite you to invite your friends. Anytime we have a class, we are always open to you inviting friends and inviting family members that you think would enjoy Young Living as well.